Good morning, all. Welcome to the BBC Spews Live. How the devil? Hope all's well in your neck of the woods. Kate can't keep up with you all now. That's good news, isn't it? That means lots of people are watching to me talking absolute shit on the internet. Although, let's be honest, I'm probably a bit too harsh on myself because the sheer volume of unmitigated horse shit on the internet. Maybe I'm up there. Just talking normal shit. Like a normal bloke in the boozer. In this crazy world we're living in, is probably better than 95% of the shit that's on YouTube. Because that's the problem, isn't it? The general public are not being served by all of the platforms that we used to think mattered. You know, in the old days, I mean, you're only talking about the 1990s. Everything came from BBC, CNN, Radio 2, Radio 4. It was the airwaves, the radio waves. And now, the world's changed. Did I headbutt a para? We've had this out, Russell. If I headbutted a para, I wouldn't have a scratch on me. This is an unidentified drinking injury. That's all that is. I haven't actually got an injury. I've just got a fucking shaved off eyebrow. It must be the very specific angle that my face hit a piece of concrete, because I haven't actually got any injuries now. I haven't got any swellings or anything. I've just got half a fucking eyebrow like a rapper. So it's a bit shit. I could disguise it quite easily by Robocopping myself, but I think a Robocop would stand out a lot more. And for those of you that don't know the terminology, it's common in the Marines. If you're really trying to sell something and the lads don't believe you, but you're telling the truth, you can put your eyebrows on it. You say, fucking eyebrows. And the punishment being, if you don't provide irrefutable proof of whatever it is that you've been stating in a relatively short period of time, you have to shave your eyebrows off. And just one step above the eyebrows is Robocop. And obviously you shave from about there forwards completely bald. So you look like Peter Weller or whatever he was called, the actor out of Robocop, when he's got his helmet off. I was there in Iraq when a lad he Robocopped it because he told one of the lads that his car could do I don't fucking know what it was, 0 to 60 in 3 seconds or something. And I actually remember him telling me that he was on the sat phone using all of his minutes on his card, desperately trying, I think they give him a week to prove it. And he was trying to get his mate to get his brother to drive it, and his mate was going to film it and then sort of send it over. It was always going to be a fucking impossibility. So sure enough, he fucking Robocopped it, and then I always remember the true boss kicking off about it because we were having a clear lower deck, and the CO was kicking off saying, I don't expect to be giving an interview to the BBC and all of the journalists on the ground in wherever we were. It might have been in Basra, it might have been when we were in Baghdad, in the Green Zone. He goes, I don't expect to be giving an interview. And the lad walks past in the background and he's fucking Robocopped himself. You know, you're dealing with civilians, you're dealing with journalists. They don't want to see young lads walking around looking like they've just had intensive chemotherapy. So, yeah, Robocop it. If I did that, you wouldn't even be able to tell that I've been binge drinking. But obviously, I don't think my missus would be very happy. Anyway, I didn't come here to talk about Robocop. I come here to talk about the obvious. The obvious. Bow and arrow attack appears to be terrorism. Weird that, innit? Weird. I just assumed another act of mass murder would be taking place in Europe just for a laugh. Just for a laugh. Remember when Obama said 9/11 had absolutely nothing to do with Alan's snack bar? Do you remember that? Got nothing to do with Alan's snack bar. If anything, the Pope was in charge of this fucking operation. Was he? Was he really? Was it the Anglican Church we should be worrying about? Is it the Anglican Church that motivates people to fucking commit not just acts of murder, but the key difference. The IRA commits acts of murder. The key difference, because it's so hard to defend against, is the willingness to end your own life just to fuck with your enemies. That's the key difference that only comes from a very narrow, specific religious indoctrination. And when Obama and the like say, oh, yeah, but it's got nothing to do with Alan. It's got fuck. Alan wouldn't do that. Probably all those agnostic cunts. The ludicrousness of it is laid bare for all of the world to see. It was the Methodists. Yes, it was. It was those bastards, Mr. Socialist. It was the fucking Methodists. I'm getting itchy. I don't like having a beard. I'm going to have a shave. I'll do that tomorrow, but not Robocop. I haven't done that. I've not Robocopped anything. So it's fucking mad. It's mad. I like that one. Tommy, Alan Snack Bars, Strongbow advert. Strongbow, yeah. He's just getting ready for Valentine's Day. Cupid. He's got started early. It's just, again, I'll tell you what I will. I'm going to segue into something not related to the BBC, other than the only slagging off of Joe Rogan I've found on the BBC is the BBC slagging him off, saying he was clarifying his vaccination comments. But I want to talk about Joe Rogan because I saw a video on Fox yesterday and it's pretty mad. And I think that most people need to be aware of just how much trouble we're in and why. And I'm going to use this video to illustrate my point. I've even got my headphones ready this time because normally I can't even hear it when you guys are listening to something that I share. But I'm slowly learning, right? The Bootneck technology is, I'm not a Luddite, I'm learning. So I can listen in as well, right? I'm going to play you a video that I listened to on Fox yesterday. And it's astounded me. Because I talked about this with my mother-in-law a couple of weeks ago. And I was saying how, like, the indoctrination of the general public, basically it seems to be everyone over the age of about 40 or a very specific sort of group of left-leaning people like the woke who literally spend their entire lives on the fucking phones and tablets consuming everything Soy Valley can throw at them. But again, I'm almost trying to be apolitical here and say it's not just a left or a right problem. It's a very specific problem that people are being indoctrinated to not question anything. And I think using Joe Rogan is a really good way to illustrate my point because Joe Rogan has such a large audience. You would think he would be immune to, you know, being slurred as a crazy like Alex Jones. Alex Jones's audience was nothing like Joe Rogan's. Joe Rogan's audience is colossal. Joe Rogan's audience is so vast that Spotify paid him $100 million to go exclusive on their platform. And you would think that a footprint that large would make you immune to these sort of accusations. But the point I'm getting at is it doesn't matter how big you are. The vice-like grip, the cobra of Silicon Valley, cobra, I've started talking like an American, the cobra, the spitting cobra has fucking coiled itself around the information that you can get your hands on so that it doesn't matter how big your platform is, you can still be smeared to such an extent that the boomers and everybody who's not mega plugged in, like in this narrow niche that I've got, that you my fellow bootketeers have got, this narrow niche where unless you're really a bit of a boring bastard and you spend a lot of time getting about on what they call the dark web, listening to these sort of independent people like Jordan Peterson or Joe Rogan or people who are away from CNN and BBC, Channel 4 Sky, all that stuff, it's hard to understand what's going on. And the point I'm going to get to here is, Joe, carpet burns from all the rug munching. I'm married and I'm English. If you think I do plenty of rug munching, you are on a different page. The French do plenty of rug munching. The Italians, yeah? My old pal Federico I always talk about. He loves munching rug. Me, I'll do it twice a month as a favour to my missus, right? Other than that, I like to read the Financial Times and paint plastic soldiers. I'm very English in that way. So just listen to this video and bear in mind, those of you that are plugged in are probably fully aware of this because I have talked about it before. Joe Rogan didn't do anything weird. He went to see his doctor, he got given a prescription by his doctor, and he took the pills. That's it. That is how uncontroversial this story is. And look how it was spanned by the biggest networks in the United States.
Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan tested positive for the coronavirus, and at which time he hit it with everything he got. He's in great shape. He does the UFC fights, but he hit it with, one of the things he hit it with was ivermectin. Right. And immediately everyone at CNN started mocking him, saying it's a horse drug. When it's got 2015, it got the Nobel Prize for Medicine as a breakthrough. And in Japan, they're using it, and they prescribe it. And his doctor prescribed it. So Dr. Sanjay Gupta, trying to hawk a book, didn't know what he was getting into.
Well, Joe asked him to come on the show, and Sanjay Gupta said, I was told by a lot of people you might not want to go on there because he might criticize you. And he said, I really want to. It's a long platform. He said he was on there for a long time with him, no breaks, and it was a good opportunity for him to have a conversation.
They talked for 3 hours.
Right. So watch very carefully because Joe Rogan says, hey, why did CNN, where you are the chief medical reporter, why did they lie about me taking this animal dewormer? It's about 2 minutes long.
So, yeah, that's the story. We'll watch it now in a minute. But seriously, I'm trying to make this as simplistic as possible for anybody who doesn't know what I'm talking about. Joe Rogan, massive, massive platform, world-renowned, got COVID, went to see his doctor and said, I'm fucked, I've got COVID, give me some shit that'll fix it. The doctor said, here's a drug, a prescription drug that's been used 1 billion times, 1 billion fucking times for numerous treatments. I think yellow fever is one that I remember because I've had that jab myself. It's been used 1 billion times by billions of people. The inventor got the Nobel Prize in 2015 or something. It's been used fucking open. It's just as common as fucking paracetamol. And this is how CNN reported him as being a loony, a fruitcake, taking fucking horse dewormer. So he had it out with the guy on his show.
Worth every second. Watch this.
Horse dewormer's not a flattering thing. I get that.
It's a lie. It's a lie on a news network, and it's a lie that's a willing. That's a lie that they're conscious of. This is not a mistake.
Yeah.
They're unfavorably framing it as veterinary medicine.
Well, the FDA put this thing out. You saw that. Did you see that thing that the FDA put out?
What did the FDA put out?
It was a tweet, and it was snarky. I admit it. They said, you are not a horse, you are not a cow, stop taking this stuff, or something like that.
Why would you say that?
You're not a horse, you're not a cow, stop taking this. Just mocking him. Oh my God, he's taking farmyard animal fucking... No. It's as common as ibuprofen. It's a prescribed drug given by his doctor. It's been used 1 billion times to treat 12 different viruses. That's how common it's seriously, it's like ibuprofen. Hoofing, broofing. It's as common and as normal as drinking a bottle of fucking Lucozade. And they mocked him ruthlessly. As if he was some kind of fruitcake. As if he said, shit, I've got COVID. I'm going to snort a line of fucking powdered glass. That'll fix it. That's not what happened. What, you've got COVID? Go and muff a cow's arsehole out. No, he didn't do that. Went to see the doctor and he got a fucking prescription for a drug that's already been used 1 billion times. That's it. That's not even a story. And CNN ran with it. And the BBC mentioned it. How? How, in this day and age, does that happen? Because my point is a salient one. It doesn't matter how big your platform is. It doesn't matter how big your platform is. If CNN and the BBC and the MSM in general and the fuckers that run the TV and the radio in Silicon Valley, if they want to paint you as anything they want, they could crown you Lord of the fucking nonsense. If they want to make you out to be a whack job, that's what you get. And it doesn't matter how big your platform is, doesn't matter who knows you, doesn't matter what reality itself is. They can bend it to their will. That is how powerful the self-loathing, slimy shitbags that run the fucking world. That's the power they have. He did something as controversial as drinking a bottle of Lucozade, and they fucking made him out to be crazy. If I was him, I'd be suing CNN's fucking balls off. Not for the money, because, you know, principle, isn't it? I'd give every penny to charity. But I would fucking drag them over the coals. Rogan, if he had any fucking sense, I don't know why he's not doing it. Maybe they've just given him something under the table. He would drag these fucking shitbags to court and annihilate them. Because it's just full-blown lies and character assassination. Do you remember in the good old days in the 80s when you were happened to a kid, when you got told by your fucking mum and dad not to lie? Why do they just lie constantly? I can understand a white lie or a sort of little one, but just fucking making shit up. Why do they do it? And why do they think it's acceptable? And why do they not care that everybody knows who has even a slight interest in, well, observing reality for themselves, turning on a fucking podcast and listening to it from the horse's mouth? He talked to the guy for 3 hours. Joe Rogan's podcast's popular because he doesn't hide anything. It's all right there for everyone to see. It's open and fucking out, and it's as easy to see as a diplodocus in a fucking neon lime green shell suit. You can't miss it, but they still don't care. I think that's because they know that the initial shock is worth it, right? It's like if they call you a nonce on the front of every fucking paper for a few days, and then a month later you sue them and then they get found to be lying and they have to pay you off and apologise. The apology gets tucked away on page 10 and nobody talks about it. The BBC and CNN all close ranks and they hardly talk about it. They'll mention it at the fucking 4 o'clock in the morning. They'll go, oh yeah, and he's not really nuts. And that's the end of it. So the damage is already done. It's like what I've told you guys about how they silence people on YouTube. If a channel suddenly explodes into the ecosphere and it's massive and it's hugely popular, they'll ban you for a couple of weeks. It's what they did with Parler. Parler really had some momentum. They had the wind in the sails. Because Trump and all these other people were saying, yeah, fuck Twitter, let's go on Parler. Parler went boom, everybody joined. I joined, you joined, we all made accounts. And it looked like it was going to take off. So they, bam, slammed it down. Dodgy tactics, fucked with the website, got their IP address banned, shut them down entirely. And as soon as that happened for a couple of weeks, bam, done. Parler's fucked. They can shut you down on a whim with a lie. And it doesn't matter if everybody knows it's a lie. If they manage to shut you down for a week, the damage is already done. I think that's what happened with my channel. Like I said, a year ago, I was getting more subscribers and more views. I was up into those like 6,000-7,000 would averagely watch my BBC fucking stuff on a Sunday. And then they just slammed it and it went down to 1,000. And once they put the brakes on you, you never get it back. So I think that's why they do it. The tactic works for them. They control the information so easily that even if they completely fabricate something, like they did about Joe Rogan, it doesn't matter how well known you are, how big your platform is. If they pull rank and they all draw together, and CNN and the BBC and Silicon Valley and all the big TV networks and Sky and everybody else, if they want to fuck you, you're fucked. It doesn't matter what's true and what isn't. So yeah, blatant fucking lies. And this little shitbag, you can see him trying to weasel out of it. Oh yeah, you must have seen this thing. Just answer the fucking question, weasel.
When you're talking about a drug that's been given out to billions and billions of people, a drug that was responsible for one of the inventors of it winning the Nobel Prize in 2015.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, a drug that has been shown to stop viral replication in vitro. You know that, right? Why would they lie and say that's horse dewormer? I can afford people medicine. This is ridiculous. It's just a lie.
I don't think anyone is.
But don't you think that a lie like that is dangerous on a news network when you know that they know they're lying? You know that they know that I took medicine. Like, here it is. This is ivermectin.
You got
this
it with
right
you.
Here. Somebody gave it to me.
All right. Yeah, look, he's holding the box up there. Look, it's ivermectin. Got it off the doctor. He didn't just pull out from under a cow's fucking tail. What I do is I just like stick my finger up a cow's ass and like wipe it around my lips like I'm using a lip seal. It's looking brilliant. And I was told this works because a wizard told me. I found a fucking glass bottle in the ocean And I uncocked the cork and I pulled out and it was a scroll. And it said, Radagast the Brown told me to wipe the juices from a cow's ring piece on your lips. It cures COVID, so I did that. That's not what he did. Went to see the fucking doctor and he got some fucking pills that have been used by 1 billion people for 20 fucking years. That's all he did. You absolute fucking worms.
All right, hang on. The thing is, we're like going so fast. Like I feel like I'm missing.
Do you think?
We're not going so fast. What do you mean? I feel like I'm missing it. We're going so fast. You fucking weasel. Just own up. What do you mean you're going so fast? He's just talking. He said, why did you lie? Why did you lie? I got it off a doctor. Why did you lie? We're going a bit fast. I feel like I'm just fucking put your hands on the table and say, listen, Joe, I'm a fucking rat bastard. Just do that. Just do that. You fucking worm. The man is lower than a gecko's ball sack.
That's a problem, that your news network lies?
Well, I don't.
Dude.
I mean, what did they say?
They lied
What did
and
they
said
say?
I was taking horse dewormer. First of all, it was prescribed.
And he's plain done there. What did they say? We all fucking know what they said. I know what they said. You know what they said. The guy who works for them doesn't know what they said. You're an embarrassment. You're a fucking embarrassment. Like I say, it's like walking in on a bloke, shagging your missus, and when you go, what's going on here? He goes, well, it's all going a bit fast. I'm confused. Wait, what? You know when bad liars do that? They go, what? To try to like play for time. That's what this guy's doing. Why have you got your cock in my missus? What? What did you say about cock? You fucking worm. Answer the question, you rat-faced little bastard.
Prescribed to me by a doctor.
Yeah.
Along
They
with
shouldn't have said
a
it was
bunch
worse.
of other medications.
If you got a human pill, because there were people that were taking it, the veterinary medication,
Was there really people? Now I'm questioning, was the people really taking the veterinary medication? Why would you? If the pill's ubiquitous for people like this thick cunt, that means very, very, very common. Yeah? If the pill's all over the bastard place and it's been in use for decades and over 1 billion people have been used it and prescribed it for 24 different fucking viral ailments, why would people go to a fucking veterinary doctor? Why would people say, no, this pill, it's out of patent, so anyone can make it. You can buy it from the fucking drugstore. And doctors have given it out to over 1 billion people for 20 different fucking viruses. Why would people go, fuck this, I'm going to go and lick the dog's balls. I'm going to go to the local vet and beg him for pills that you'd give to a fucking raccoon. It makes me now think the entire story is nonsense. Because when you Google it, and I have done, you realise, whoa, this is weird. The pill's out of patent, so it's cheap as fucking. You can buy it from a regular drugstore. Why are we talking about horse dewormer and raccoons? Surely everyone's just been using the fucking shit you get from the doctors or the pharmacy. I mean, is the whole thing total bullshit from start to finish? Because it sounds like it is to me.
You're not, obviously. You got it from a doctor, so that it shouldn't be called that. Ivermectin can be a very effective medication for parasitic disease. And as you say, it's probably, I think, 250 million people have taken it around the world?
More,
I get that.
Way more.
Way
more. Billions of people have taken it.
Can I just come back to the one I want to talk about? Two things on the ledger.
Yeah, and he keeps trying to get off it, and Joe Rogan's like, no, answer the phone. I want to go back to something else. Billions of people have took it. Billions of people have took it. It's prescribed by doctors, and it always has been. Talk about that. Weasel. Shit lips. Fucking rat bastard.
Before we get to that, does it bother you that the news network you work for out and out lied? Just outright lied about me taking horse dewormer.
They shouldn't have said that.
Why did they do that?
I don't know.
You didn't ask?
I don't know. I don't know. Just did for a laugh. Why does anybody lie? For gain, for profit, to serve themselves. Why do you lie? Why do you lie? If you steal a candy bar when you're a kid and someone says, did you steal a candy bar? And you go, no. Why did you lie? Don't know. No, you lied so you could get away with it. What do you mean you don't know? I don't know. Just lied for a laugh. What colour's your hair? Blonde. Is it? No. Why'd you lie then? Don't know. I just do it sometimes. I mean, fuck me. Again, it's like a recalcitrant child. They're caught red-handed. He's got 200 million users. They know they're caught red-handed. And because they're fucking weasels, they don't have the intestinal fortitude to just hold up their hands and say, listen, it's politics. It's politics. We have a spin that we want to put on it. We want everybody to toe the line and behave in a way we decide is good for the world, in line with our fucking authoritarian, state-heavy, in the individual doesn't matter, the collective is all that there is, in line with that ideology, and we want you all, and all your listeners, to toe the line and follow and do as they're fucking told. And because you don't, we're going to smear you. We want to smear you and all the people that listen to you and all the people that care about freedom and individual liberty. We want to smear them all as fucking idiots, cloud cuckoo, loony fruitcakes who think Elvis is still alive, playing his guitar on the fucking Loch Ness Monster's back on the fucking planet Mars, right? We want everyone in the world to think you're crazy because that's the world we live in. And it doesn't matter if 80% of the fucking planet isn't woke, right? We're working to convince the fucking world that that's what everybody is. And that's what everybody thinks. And that's what everybody believes. And who else you going to believe? Your own lying eyes and your own lying ears, or me, the little rat-faced weasel shit cunt that'll sit there across from you, fucking 5 feet away, and lie and obfuscate and play for time and fucking spin shit constantly. Just say that. Much easier. Just hold your hands up and let it come out. The truth will set you free. You fucking weasel.
I didn't think that was right. You're the medical guy over there.
I didn't ask. I should have asked before coming on your podcast.
I didn't ask. Of course you fucking didn't. Jesus Christ. Of course you didn't. It's like going in for a job interview. So why do you want to come for this position? What position? What? Didn't ask. Didn't just come and sat in the chair. That's what I do. I just come and sit in chairs and agree to talk to people. I mean, I don't do the basics, like learn anything about the fucker I'm going to be talking to. Nah, if I see a chair, I'll fucking sit in it, fella. Yeah. Doesn't matter who's going to be across from me. I see a chair, I fucking sit in it. Who are you? Who are you again? Why am I here? What are these things on my head? What? These are weird. Fuck me. He couldn't lie straight in bed, this cunt, could he?
No,
yes,
Joe.
He did. I watched.
And he did. And Jim Acosta was the guy that Joe Rogan named. And he goes, I'm trying to recover. I'm recovering from this virus. I felt good in 24 hours. And I'm watching Jim Acosta on the weekend say I'm taking all this stuff and ridicule me. And I listened to that whole show. He had one of his comedian friends on. And he talked about that. He said, now I'm better. And people at CNN are actually upset that I'm better.
Well, he held him accountable. He didn't let up.
And, you know, it has been, in the last couple of years, 300 million doses of it it was developed in the 1970s for 2 tropical diseases. One was...
Yeah, that's what I've told you guys before. It was developed in the 70s. It's been in common use since the fucking 70s. Literally over 1 billion people have used ivermectin. And again, maybe YouTube, they've got a scanner on, right? Because they always look for the I word and the M word, hence my colourful euphemisms like Alan's fucking world-famous snack bar. But seriously, maybe they'll ban me now. They've gone, holy fucking shit, he said the I word. He mentioned the drug that's been used since the 70s by 1 billion people for 24 different diseases, viruses. Oh my God, he can't say that, the cunt. I mean... It's mental, right? So the video's nearly finished, and I'm going to sum up what my point was, right?
It was called river blindness and the other lymphatic filariasis, or some. I'm sure I'm mispronouncing that. Merck donates hundreds of millions of doses a year. because it was developed as a human medicine. It has since been used for veterinary purposes, and in fact, if you feed your dog HeartGuard for heartworms, the active ingredient is ivermectin.
But the bigger picture here is his doctor prescribed them. Why are they criticizing what he decides to take and put in his body that his doctor gives him to treat a virus?
Bigger picture,
Sanjay says it was a mistake.
You know what your bigger picture is? When Ron Johnson interviewed the doctor who had so much success giving it out as a therapeutic, they took down the Senate testimony when he was in the majority.
Listen, if you have a
so
virus,
they don't want you taking ivermectin, but in Japan, it's the first thing they give you.
And if you have a virus that's deadly, aren't you going to throw the kitchen sink at it too?
Right. Absolutely. And you go to a doctor, and that's what he did. Just listen to the show. You find out what he did, and then you find out how he was ridiculed. But from Howard Stern on down, when you take on Joe Rogan, I don't think they were prepared to what they got. He is a podcaster, and they want to minimize it. But the podcast in today's environment is as powerful as networks.
Well, Sanjay Gupta at the end.
No, it isn't. That's where I'll disagree, right? Because if the network decides you're a cunt, then you're a cunt, and it doesn't matter what reality is, as I've just eloquently displayed. Right, so the point I want to make from that is, as I talked about earlier, Rotten Politics, how are you doing? You missed the opener. The point I'm getting at is, doesn't matter what the truth is anymore. Doesn't matter if what reality unfolds around you. If the mainstream media in Silicon Valley decide that you're a fucking wacko, you're a wacko. And you'll be treated accordingly, and they can take your bank account off you, they can stop you getting a mortgage, they can cut your fucking power off, they can turn you into a pariah. And it doesn't matter what reality says. It cares what they say, because we're living in fucking 1984. And this whole thing, the Americans like to use the term deep state. And because of the deep state, the word's been rubbished by the powers that be. So as soon as you hear the word, you think the person saying it is a fucking lunatic. But Joe Rogan, to sum up, took a pill that's commonly used throughout the world, has been since the 70s, been used over 1 billion times, is prescribed by doctors, nothing weird at all. It's nothing more strange than getting ibuprofen off the doctor. And they painted him as a lunatic, taunted him for weeks, and his platform didn't help because they controlled the narrative. And this TV show, The View, is like the American version of Loose Women, right? It's got a massive fucking audience. It's mainstream television. And this thick twat goes on The View and says, I'm not interested in crazy. So we know what's happened in the real world. In the real world, Joe Rogan's done nothing more controversial than taking a paracetamol. But this fucking human toilet goes on the TV and said, look, Joy Behar was shocked to hear he had 200 million listeners a month. Someone else has got an audience. How dare they? And she said, I'm not interested in talking crazy. She said, I love Sanjay Gupta went on there because if you don't go on there and just talk to someone you disagree with, then we would never have any kind of discourse. Oh, okay. Well, that's very sensible. So well done, Shepherd. And that was what got Hostin to say that retarded shit. I'm not interested in understanding the Trump mind. I'm not interested in understanding the anti-vax mind. I'm not interested in understanding crazy. I don't think you can make sense of crazy. So listen. I'll sum this up as simplistically as I can, right? The only reason we stopped having war and slaughtering each other like fucking animals, the only reason that happened is because some genius came up with a system where they said, what we'll do is, instead of lining up on a big field and having a massive scrap, and whoever's standing at the end of it with the biggest army gets to win. Yeah, like every society in the world has been since time immemorial. That's how everybody did it. It doesn't. Again, the communists want to pretend that warfare and death and slavery was invented by fucking George Washington, right? Even though he hasn't been here very long. But that's reality. It was reality with the Persians and the Spartans and the ancient Greeks and the Romans, up to the bigger empires of the more modern, the industrial era, and the Portuguese and the Spanish and the French and the British and the Americans and every fucker else. Might made right. The toughest motherfucker got to set policy, right? Then we decided, you know what's better? We'll just have democracy. We'll fucking have votes, and if the guys you agree with win, they get to be in charge for a short period of time. Let's say 4 years, right? And you might hate them, but at least in 4 years' time, you get another crack at the whip, and then you might win. And then the guy you like will be in charge, and then it'll carry on like that, and nobody has to die, right? That's basically, in as simplistic means as I can put it, the way it worked. And everybody said, you know what? I might get really annoyed when someone who I don't like's in charge for 4 years, but it's better than burying the kids with alarming frequency, right? It's better than seeing the fucking... Well, I left out the... I left out the O, the empire that starts with O, because everybody knows they didn't kill anyone. They colonized the world via the medium of pre-digital Sesame Street. They used to put on puppet shows and win everybody over with tolerance. Susan won't let me talk about that empire. 51 North. Can't talk about them. It's not allowed. So we basically decided that's what we're going to do. We're going to have votes instead of dead babies. And everyone went, you know what? Yeah, I suppose I'll be annoyed. But at least when I'm annoyed, I can talk about how annoyed I am in public. And I can disagree with the people who aren't annoyed by them. And we'll just carry on with that. And what these fucking arseholes have done, by poisoning the well and totally ruining debate, and making debate illegal, right? You're not allowed to say things they don't like anymore. What they've done is not merely slightly put us out, which is what they think that's what all they're doing. They think it's just like, oh, short term. Like I said, every pebble you toss into a pond causes ripples. And these short-term, power-mad authoritarians never think of the ripples. They don't do a thorough risk assessment. They do things on a whim. Tony Blair, like I said, he was the best example. Just tossing things out willy-nilly. Oh, that's been there 1,000 years. Get rid of it. Fuck it. Oh, that's been there 2,000 years. Who cares? Bulldoze it. I'll invent something new. I was arguing with some twat on Twitter yesterday saying, oh, if we could just train men not to be violent, the world would be amazing. Well, oh yeah, okay. Like you can just do that. Typical of an autocrat, isn't it? They believe their power is such that they can reprogram the human psyche. Like all they need to do is put them down in front of a few fucking OSHA documentaries, show them a few PowerPoints, and poof, violence will not exist anymore. Like 1 in every 50 men's not a violent sociopath or something. Like you can just get rid of it. The left-wing autocrats actually think that if you just train people enough, because we're so powerful and we're so enlightened and so clever, if you just let us take all your freedom off you, just let us take all your freedom off you, because we know best. Just let us be in charge of everything, and the world will be amazing. It won't. It won't. History has shown us what happens when petty little tyrants try to run the world. By over-managing the managerial class, sticking the fingers in every pie. If you'll just give us all of your freedom, we'll make the world a better place. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. History tells us it doesn't work. I'm not being clever. Again, I'm only a bootneck. I'm average IQ. I don't have a fucking PhD. But it's common sense. And I said this about Brexit. Common sense is all you fucking need. The elites that go to Yale and Harvard and go, common sense, what the fuck's that? Ha ha. The scornful of common sense. It's all you need. People in the know said when Brexit came along, trust the British public. Just trust the public. And if you do that, you'll end up in a good place. Generally, people know what's what. And generally, when the people are sceptical, there's a reason for it. trust the fucking public. And these people think if you just give us unlimited power and you get rid of all of your individual freedoms, we can lead you into utopia. And every single time it happens, the skulls pile up. It doesn't work. I don't need to read more. And they go, educate yourself. I'm educated, thanks. I've done the reading. I've crunched the numbers. Your ideology is a cancer on the bollocks of humanity. Every time you people get power, you fuck it all up. People die. Children starve. Women get raped. Guillotines get fucking fired up. And the blood fills the fucking streets. So don't tell me that we should all just trust the state and just give them unlimited power. If we tell you have to get a vaccine, you have to fucking get it. Because trusting the state with your own individual liberties has worked so well in the past, hasn't it? It always works out. Jesus fucking wept. And again, I'm not telling you that you shouldn't get the jab, because I've had more fucking jabs than you can shake a stick at. Like I said, I'm a bit childish because I'm a believer in if it ain't broke, don't fix it, which inadvertently puts me in line with the sort of medical types. Because when I joined the Marines and they were saying, we're just going to stab you with everything, I used to laugh and say, oh, never know, it might give me fucking superpowers. Like, I've had so many injections, it's going to mutate in my blood and I'm going to end up like fucking Spider-Man. So I'm not a vaccine skeptic because I've had so many jabs and I'm in great health that I've never been worried about it. But the obvious point that I shouldn't need to spell out for apparently educated people is that you can be pro-vaccine or pro-medical science without being pro-fucking invasion of your own body. I mean, it's really that simple, isn't it? The state does not have the power to tell you you have to get an invasive medical procedure for random strangers' personal health. They don't have the power to do it. And these people who say, oh, yeah, of course they fucking do, because they're not being tyrants. They're just saying if you don't get it, you can't be alive anymore. I mean, that's what they're basically saying. You can't go out, you can't go to work, you can't feed yourself, you can't go to the supermarket, you can't go to a fucking play. No, they are forcing you to it. Politics is just violence by other means. If they are fucking telling you that you can't go to work and you can't go to the grocery store and you can't travel, they are, unlike silence is violence, they are doing it by force. Because if you can't live, you have to get it. So they might as well send 20 soldiers around your house, get you in a fucking headlock, shoot you with a beanbag gun and stab you. Don't tell me that they're not being tyrannical. Yeah, Kev, I have heard about this whole mRNA thing. That I don't know enough about. But I'm just of the opinion that, you know, I've had anthrax and yellow fever and fucking TB and everything else, and I'm still here and I'm in good health. So I don't worry too much about it. Maybe I'm naive in that way, but like I said, I trust people that are normal people who work in labs, you know, the rank and file, who've got wives and kids, to not be happy making a product that they know for a fact is going to kill me. There may be long-term implications for the vaccine. I'm not saying it's guaranteed to be safe. I'm just saying I don't think it's guaranteed to fuck you either. And being a man who's not risk-averse, I was like, who cares? But that doesn't mean that you can't be anti-vaccine in the point that you don't believe the state has the right to force people to get a fucking vaccine. They don't. It's body autonomy. Nobody has the right to put something in you if you don't want them to put it in you. I mean, it's the most simple fucking way I can put it. What if the vaccine was a pork vaccine? Like, does somebody have the right to take your temperature with their all-beef thermometer if you don't want them to? Think of it that way. It's putting something in your body against your will. If they just turned around and said, can I put something in you that you don't want in you? That's what they're doing. So I'm not saying don't get fucking jabbed. I'm just saying make your own mind up And you have the right to make your own mind up. And if you're like me and you don't give a fuck because you've always not give a fuck and you're in great health and you're fucking buff and you think, I don't care, I'm not scared of fuck all. Give me the bastard thing. If I need to get it to go on a flight, which is the main reason I get jabbed is to travel, right? Get the fucking thing. If you don't. But you always have the right to say, fuck you, because it's your bastard body. I have as much right to tell you I'm not letting you put a needle in me as I have to tell you you're not putting your cock in me. And I reserve that right? George Michael, you're not putting it in me. Elton John, you're not putting it in me. Mr. Fauci, you're not putting it in me. That's as simplistically as I can put it. And ultimately, let's be honest, it's not that fucking bad, is it? All the casualty statistics and everything we've seen from it, it ain't that bad. It's not like the fucking plague, the bubonic plague. Like, I just, on principle, will never and cannot ever support a vaccine passport, a vaccine mandate. If you're scared, get the fucking jab. If you're not scared, don't. But don't tell me that I'm not in command of my own fucking body, right? And Fauci is a lying bastard. We've caught him lying as well. He should be in fucking jail. He works for the WHO, takes money off the Chinese. Everything all the conspiracy theorists said about Fauci appears to have been proven right. So, crazy times we're living in. And that was what I wanted to talk about today. This is the power they have. 200 million listeners. And this moron, Sonny Austin, can go on television with a straight face and say he's a fucking idiot. Madness, isn't it? And it's depressing, because what chance have we got? What chance have we got? Point back to the black pill. If a man like Joe Rogan can be completely stitched up with his platform, what chance have we got? This is why I'm a miserable bastard. Right, I'm more talkative than usual today because my missus isn't here and I've got no one to talk to. So I'll do some questions, shall I? Let's have a look. I'll scroll through some of these. I'm just looking for question marks. Not much question marks, just lots of swearing and insults towards me. If you don't put this in your body, you can't work. Who said it better, Biden or Weinstein? Yeah, see that? Blue Falcon Suck made a great point there. They both said that, didn't they? If you don't put this in your body, you can't work. Exactly the point I was making. How is it any fucking different? How is it any different? And funny old thing, they're not keen on Harvey Weinstein anymore. I mean, they were keen on him for 30 years and they hid it and covered it up and helped him rape people. But now they're not keen on it because they've been caught. It's another mad thing, isn't it? Again, people like me are just uniformly against that type of thing. You get mocked and banned and blocked off Silicon Valley. But if you're pro-rape for 30 years and then the second you get caught, you go, you know what, I can't fucking stand rape. They'll go, oh yeah, you're a virtuous person. Fuck off. Hollywood was in on it. Everybody in Hollywood knew what Weinstein was up to. Oprah Winfrey and fucking Hillary Clinton, and they're all in on it for 30 years. And then they get caught and they go, fucking hell, it's shocking that. And then I make a joke about rape or something. They go, oh my God, he made a joke about an off-colour subject. That means he's a pervert. No, I'm just making a joke. You guys were in on it for 30 fucking years, you absolute weasels. My God. Anyway, what else have we got? Boot, do you know about the Great Reset? Yes, of course I've read about it. Yeah, well, this is what I keep saying. I'm telling people to try and keep the chins up and have a good crack and just live your life, look after your fucking wives and kids and your husbands and your family and your friends and just fucking enjoy yourself and watch shit like this and have a laugh about it. Because you can't change it. I seriously don't think, as it currently stands, we can get where we're going to end up without it kicking off. I believe that the powers that be have got the whole system stitched up so badly that we are pissing in the wind and we're not going to get where we're going to need to be with democracy. I don't think it's going to happen. I think we've lost. That's why I'm a black pill. We've already lost. The tyrants are in charge. Silicon Valley have got us by the ball sack. the mainstream media's got it stitched up. If they can stitch up Joe Rogan, they can stitch up anyone. So we're not going to fix this with the ballot box. They're going to keep taking the piss until it gets worse and worse and worse and worse, and then the normies will finally lose the rag, and then it'll kick off. And I don't think, I've tried my best, but I don't think we're going to be able to avert serious public disorder. We've lost. Between the mainstream media and Silicon Valley, which is the point of this entire video, if they can smear him with 200 million listeners, they can smear anyone. And then she can go on TV and say he's fucking crazy, and my mother-in-law and all my family that's over the age of about 40 will go, oh yeah, Joe, he's fucking crazy. Joe Rogan's crazy, man. He's crazy. He takes crazy pills. He snorts powdered glass to heal himself. He listens to wizards. It's all fucking fiction. But they control the narrative. So we're shagged, aren't we? We're shagged. That's the black pill. I mean, again, I'm sure I'll be all right. I'll lock up shock. I'm a bit of a survivalist. I'll lock up shock. Use my fucking Gucci drink through the stream straws, hoard rations and ammunition. I'll probably be all right. But I was attempting for the last 10 years to avoid large-scale public disorder. And I don't think we can now. I think it's going to kick off. Is why I'm a black pill. That was the point of my video. If they can smear Rogan, they can smear anyone. So we've lost. The normies will not play the game. 19 crimes, nice drop of red. I brought that over. I bought 2 bottles of that over for my friend of mine who asked me for it. Weirdo. I'll just go on full on Alan snack bar. Oh yeah, just crack that. Yeah, you'll be all right then. Question, Matty, are wind turbines going to give out enough power to charge all the electric cars in 2030? No, the solution is nuclear, right? The science. I've been arguing that one for a few decades because I remember listening to fucking Johnny Ball on the radio about 20 years ago on Radio 2, arguing with some old woman going, ooh, but the Chernobyl was so bad, we can't have nuclear power. We can. There's only 2 solutions. Again, I hate this. I hate people who aren't logical. There's only 2 solutions. Use less energy or make more power. That's it. We can't use less energy because we keep fucking multiplying. So we need more power. And the only way to fix it is nuclear. So we're living in a fucking fantasy land. Again, we're living in a fantasy land. Let's have a look. If they can stitch up Trump, they can do anything. Exactly, Kelly Richards. Exactly what I'm talking about. China, Taiwan, Matty. Fucking... It's a hard one, right? China are tyrants, but I think we're getting a broad coalition of people that are pissed off with the Chinese, including, the Taiwanese hate them. The Japanese don't fucking like them. The neighbours all around them are starting to think, hang on, this is dodgy as fuck. So we may avoid a conflict there because I think that the whole world's going to gang up on China. Maybe that's part of the plan. Fucking engineer the next massive war with China so that we don't have to pay our fucking bills because we owe those bastards more money than a cash converter smackhead. It's one of them things. Who knows what's going to happen? Have you watched the documentary Planet of the Humans? No, I haven't. It sounds like some lefty eco warrior dog shit. I'll take one more. Hello, Shams. How are you? That wasn't a question mark for me. That was the Shams. All right, how are you doing? Had to rush your phone, man, and missed half the show. Ah, well, you can go back and watch it afterwards, Shams. Right, all right. Fucking hell, that was nearly an hour. You can tell my missus is off and I'm by myself. I've got no one to talk to. So you guys had to fill in. That's good because her ears are bleeding most days.
You can update my information in Siri settings.
Shut the fuck up, watch. That was my watch. Anyway, all right. So I'm done. Thanks for listening. That was a somewhat depressing one, wasn't it? But I was angry. Like I keep saying, we're done. I'm black-pilled now. I don't think we're going to get where we need to be with democracy. Maybe in America where there's a conservative option, but in Europe, you're fucked. Britain's fucked. You voted Conservative for 13 years and you get the fucking hard left. That's right. You vote Conservative for 13 years and you get pull down all the statues, ban all of the things, arrest people for mean tweets, arrest people for being rude, state-mandated politeness, and eco-terrorism. You guys are in the shit. Right? All right, I'm done. Thanks for watching. I'll be back tomorrow at 7 p.m. UK, and I'll see you all very soon. All right? Take it easy.